everybody. My name is Wes.
My name is Matt.
And today you're joining us for the Church Connect live stream. I've been looking so forward to this one, Matt, because Church Connect's kind of my favorite thing in ChurchTrac.
You know, as parents, we're not allowed to have our favorite child, but as ChurchTrac employees, we're allowed to have our favorite feature, and yes. Church Connect is that.
Yes, and today, we put it out in email, but today we're really going to be going through all the things Church Connect. We will have a dedicated Q&A time at the end, just to throw it out there. But before we dive into all the things, a couple things I want you all to be aware of. First and foremost, if you are new to ChurchTrac and you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, you definitely should. Our YouTube channel is filled with so many great videos, like the one you're watching right now, if you're watching us from the future. Hello, future. And Matt, tell them about the Facebook group.
I just dropped a link, by the way, to that YouTube channel. Go ahead and click on that link in the chat. And speaking of chat, we do have a live chat. Definitely jump in and watch. If you're watching us in the future, you can't chat with us live, obviously, but leave a little note in the comments, and we'll answer any questions you have there as well. But we have a wonderful Facebook group that we would love for you to join as well, with church members and church leaders from all around the world that love ChurchTrac and love ministry so much that if you have questions about either one of those things, they'd love to help you out. So I'm dropping a link into the chat now for that Facebook group. Definitely click on that link. By clicking on either of these links, it'll open up another tab, and that'll be waiting for you when this live stream is over. So go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel and join that Facebook group. Yeah, and
I always throw this out there every single time we do a live stream, but anytime you need help in ChurchTrac, just click that help button when you're in the software itself. I'll zoom in real big just in case you're on a smaller device, but that help button, that's your best friend.
Yep.
You can click that, it brings you to our online user guide, you can ask us a question. We have a very fast support team, and we'll help you out in a jiffy there. All right, so today, Matt, we're talking about Church Connect, and I want to keep it simple. I want to talk about first, what is Church Connect? So if someone coming in here today has never even heard of Church Connect, they'll be able to know that. I want to talk about how to set it up.
Okay.
And I have this goal of being able to show how to do it in 12 minutes.
Okay.
So
I've actually got a timer. We're going to time you. We're going to keep you to your word.
I'm going to try my best, which is kind of crazy. I think you can set it up in 12 minutes.
Yeah, just go from no website and app to a website and app for your church in under 15 minutes.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about some tips that we've got to really help you get the most out of Church Connect. I had so many different ones I wanted to talk about, but we've got like 3 to 4 really good ones I think we'll share. And then we're going to spend a lot of time in Q&A. So we want to get through all this content as quickly as possible because we want to just answer questions live. And that's the beauty of these live streams, is we can have this two-way communication with you all. And again, if you're watching this in the future, you won't be able to have this two-way communication in real time, but you can still just create a sport ticket and we'll help you. So let's go ahead. Let's dive in. So let's talk about, Matt, what is Church Connect? I think we should probably start with the question.
Yes. To answer your question, I'll ask a question. Go ahead in the chat, and Wes, go ahead and type this question in. How would you describe your church website in 3 words or less? So in the chat, describe your church website in just 3 words or fewer. I love asking this question. It gets the gears turning. It kind of forces everyone to really reckon with the nature of their website and how they feel about it. And that's actually what I really like getting down to.
Yes.
Because no church has like the same relationship with their website as another.
Every church is different. Every church is unique. All right, so we have them coming in here. So Karen says, clean, simple, and informative.
Okay.
Pretty awesome.
Perfect.
Another person says lacking. Steven says wordy. Tanya says broken. George says don't have one.
Well, if you're using ChurchTrac, congratulations, you do. We'll help you set it up.
On a side note, seeing George say don't have one made me think of Cousin Eddie in Vegas Vacation when Clark's like, can I help you with the grill? And he's like, I don't have one, Clark.
Don't have one.
Karen says old. Needs updated.
Joy, again, don't
have
one.
Clear and inviting. Okay. So when it comes to like the relationship churches have with their websites, we typically find that they fall into a few different camps.
Yeah, one of 3 camps. Most churches will have like a lot of churches have a website. Like, what was it? Who was saying this? It was Community Baptist Church, clean, efficient, but incomplete. That's understanding. Morgan, clear, inviting. Karen, clean, simple, and informative. A lot of churches have a great website.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. It's working well for them. It helps new people find their church. It's great. Camp number 2, churches have a website, but it's not very functional, it's outdated, it's hard to keep updated, and it's expensive, and it's not really serving the church.
It's not.
And then camp number 3 is churches that don't have a website. At most, they'll have like a social media page or something like that, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Church Connect is great because it serves all 3 of these camps. If you have a great website, but you were looking for an app to offer your members, now you have that.
Yeah.
You can build Church Connect to be geared specifically to the members, not necessarily to the public. For churches in camp number 2, you can get rid of that outdated, clunky, expensive website and have a free option that is very functional, very easy to keep updated, and it's connected to the church management software that you're using.
Yes.
And then camp number 3, congratulations, you have a website now. And it's very easy to set up. It doesn't cost you anything extra because it's included in your paid subscription with ChurchTrac.
Yeah, and I think it's best to show it off real quick, just before we dive into how to build it, just to quickly show like what
it is.
It can look like on a mobile phone and everything. So Matt, show us our Church Connect.
All right, so here we go. I've actually got this phone hooked up. Okay, so we're displaying it on the screen, perfect. So this is what Church Connect looks like on a smartphone as an app. I'll even close it real quick and show you the app icon there in the top left-hand corner. So yes, you can customize the icon to have your church's logo, and if I tap on it, it opens up the app. Now Church Connect is built on what we call cards. These cards are, these images that you'll see here as I scroll through. Each card acts as a button that takes me somewhere else in Church Connect. This Connect with Potential card. This is a form. This is just like every Connect form or like little Connect with Us form that I've ever seen at any church, in like the back of the chairs or the pews or in the welcome area for guests to fill out, to submit their contact information so that leaders can follow up with them later in the week. You can link to other sites or other things that your church is doing, like this podcast. Another form card is this prayer card. Time and location. I like showing this one because it demonstrates how you can like embed things in some pages, like a Google map or a YouTube video. But speaking of YouTube videos, if I scroll all the way to the bottom, there we go. Okay, is my donation tax deductible? It's a video I did a while back. You can add videos directly to your Church Connect page. So you can have it right there on the home page for people to watch. So if you have like a live stream, you can update that on Sunday morning and have people watch it from home right from your church app. Lots of other cards here. I won't even like go through each one. It would take too long. But it's also a member portal. You'll see that sign-in button. Some of you probably noticed that in the top right-hand corner of the screen. If I tap that sign-in button and log in with the email address and password of this member of the church, I've now logged in as a user. Your members can create an account in Church Connect and access their member profile, like their church member profile in the directory. They can update that photo. I need to do it because my facial hair just doesn't match that anymore. And then also update your contact information and family photo and do the same for the rest of your family. And that will reflect in your church database in the people screen in ChurchTrac. So your members can keep your information updated for you.
This just makes life so much easier as a church admin.
And I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing off everything. You've got upcoming events. You can link your online giving page to Church Connect as well so people can donate directly. People can even see their own donation history and generate a contribution statement any time of year for their taxes or just their financial records.
Yeah.
Love it. So that's Church Connect at a very quick glance. There's a lot more to it, and we're going to show you how to create it now.
Yeah, so Matt, you've got the timer. I am going to do my best to show you how easy it is to build your Church Connect, so you'll have a church website and a church app built in 12 minutes.
All right.
I think I can do this.
You think you can do this?
I think I can.
All right, so you're ready.
I'm ready.
You're ready? I've got this timer here. Let me know when you're ready to hit the races.
Now.
All
go.
Right, go.
All right, so we got the timer. All right. So now I'm going to log in here to my account. So I'm logged into my account here in ChurchTrac, and the place I need to go is the Church Connect screen. This is where I manage all the things.
Okay.
Now, the first thing I want to do is, it's actually prompting me as I haven't customized my Connect page URL link yet. And so that's something you want to do first. And so that Connect page URL, that is what, when people go to that URL, it takes them to your website. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real fast. Now, I highly recommend creating your own custom URL that's very easy to remember.
Right.
So my church, Potential Church of Greenville, I'm going to see if PCOG, PCOG, is that available? Let's see if it is. Oh, it's not. How about PCG, Potential Church Greenville. Is that one available? What?
Even easier. Perfect.
So that's just 3 letters my people have to remember. So I'm going to choose this as my account keyword. Are you sure? Yes, I am sure. So I'm going to click OK. And now there it is. So pcg.churchtrac.com.
Simple.
That is my URL. So when people go to that URL from any sort of device, it's taking them to my church website /app. Now, here's another thing I want to point out is we've got the QR code. So when I go to that Connect menu, view your QR code URL. So this is a unique QR code. So if people scan that QR code with their phone, it takes them right to Church Connect.
And scroll down just a little bit. There's that button to download it.
Yes.
That's what's key.
Download
You can put
it.
this in your sermon slides. You can put it in the welcome area. Paint your church with it.
Yes. Now, all right, so we've got all that done, Matt. Now I want to start building this bad boy out. So Church Connect, it's made up of what we call these cards.
Right.
And so the first thing I want to do is start doing my cards. So I will go ahead, if I view this right now, so I'm just click this little button and I can view my Church Connect. So right now it doesn't look that great. I want to make it great. So from here, I can go ahead and I can start updating these cards. And so I've already got this connection card. It's a form card, the first one. So I'm going to select that one. And I want to go ahead and make this card look good. So I actually want to go ahead and edit the card. And I want to put an image here. And I've actually already created an image for this. And so I'm going to drag and drop my Connect image for this. So there we go.
Boom, there it is.
Dragged and dropped my image. And I highly recommend doing images for this just because people are visual and plus you can do your branding for your church and everything there.
Yeah, don't get hung up on the blue and orange. That's something that he's made. You can do whatever.
And I'm just going to delete this card content because I already have the image there. I could change background. I could do all these things if I wanted to. Now the next thing I want to do is I can quickly just update any of those form questions because this is a form card.
Right.
And so if I wanted to, I can go in here and say, all right, people, they put in their name. I also want to add let's do this. Let's add the name and email address field. And then I don't need this field for your name because I'm already asking for that. So we'll delete that. And if you're like, Wes, you're going crazy fast. I am. That's because I'm trying to show you in real time how quick you can do this.
And he's also timed. He's got 9 minutes left.
9 minutes. Oh my goodness. All right. So I'm a first-time guest, second-time guest, regular attender, member. Let's delete the second-time guest. I don't need that one there. I just want to know if someone's a first-time, regular, or member. Okay. Prayer request. I want to add that one in as well. So I'm going to start requiring these fields real fast. So this is a custom form builder I'm able to do. And then my spiritual decision, and this was stuff we already had built into this one, but you can customize all this. So we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so I've got that one done. All right, Matt, I've got my card done, my first card, and if I wanted to, I could really start customizing this stuff later, but I want to add some more cards real fast. So let's go ahead. What's another card that I want to do?
What about giving? Online giving.
We do want to do giving, so let's go ahead and add that. Now, I haven't set up online giving yet for this particular account, but it's super fast. You can set up online giving in about 25 minutes or so, but I can still add the card in the meantime. It just won't take people to our giving yet. So for me to add a card, I go to that Connect menu, and this is where I can select Add a Card. And so I'll add a card, and I've got all these different types of cards to choose from. All these cards do very specific things. For example, a page card goes to like a different page, link card goes to a specific link. You get the idea. So giving card, it goes to my online giving page, add this card. So I've added that card. Now I want to make this card custom just like I did the other one, Matt.
Right.
And I already have an image I created for that, so I'm going to edit the card real quick. And I'm going to go over to the other side of my computer because I have got a sweet image that I had made for my giving, which just disappeared. So I'm about to go pull it up again. That's all right. I can use any image, to be brutally honest. So why don't we just use my Connect card image if that one doesn't show up. I tell you what, in this situation, Matt, I want to make it really basic and easy. So I don't even need to use an image.
Perfect.
I want to show this. And so instead of using an image for this particular one, I want to have this one look more like a button. And I want it to say Give Now. And from here, I can put like a different background. Let's make this green. I want to make it green.
And
So
you
I
can put
do
in
that.
your own hex code
You
below that
can.
if you want to be really precise with your branding.
You can. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at that, and we can text alignment. I'll center it out. So this is more of like a button is what I've just created this card to be.
Nice.
So now I've got that added. So now when I go here, I have that Give Now button. And again, this can be an image, this can be anything. I mean, you can really customize this out, but I just want to show that real fast. I've actually seen a lot of churches. I know I'm on the clock. Oh man, I got to keep going. We'll talk about it later. So, all right, next card I want to create here. I want to create, how about a podcast card? Because I want to point people to our church's podcast.
Right. Okay. I see a lot of churches have like a YouTube channel or a podcast.
Yeah.
Or direct them to that.
Well, and for my church, I mean, we have a lot of people that like to listen to the podcast, to the sermon later on. So we're going to go ahead, add another card. So connect menu, add a card. And this is a link card because when people select this, I want it to go to the link where our podcast actually lives on iTunes. And so I select that link card, add this card. All right, now I can start editing this out. So the first thing I do, I actually want to put the link to where that card is going to take people. And so I'm just going to take this link that I had a little earlier that goes straight to Church Podcast. And so I'm going to go over here to the link address, and I'm going to paste in that link there. And so that's just taking people to just a podcast I pulled from iTunes just to show. And now I want to add an image too, because I really, really want to brand this thing to look awesome for my ministry.
Yes.
So I'm going to edit this card, and then I'm going to add an image here. And so let's go ahead to my box of images that I've created some stuff here. And I've got my church podcast image that I created, which looks super sweet.
There we go.
So your church pod. All right. So
obviously you can customize the text.
Yeah.
And we'll get into the program Wes is using for that.
Oh yes, we will.
In a minute.
And now I can add all these other things. I can do text colors.
4.5 minutes, Wes.
Oh goodness. All right. Let's keep going. Now. Do I have another card I want to add, or should I just leave that? All right, let's say I want to have a prayer request form card.
Ooh, yeah,
I can quickly connect menu. Let's add another card. This is going to be a form card, going to create that. And now I will name this prayer request. And then from here, I can go ahead and add my form questions. And for this one, I'm just going to say name, email, and then I'm just going to call prayer request. And now I can add a bunch of other questions if I wanted to, but I just want to keep this really simple for the time being, require that. Okay, so I've got that. They put their name, their email, their prayer request. And then from here, I can also edit the card. I've got a card image that I want to use because I took some time to make a really sweet looking one. And it actually disappeared on me. This one disappeared on me.
That's
too.
Funny. Come on, Mac.
Oh man, everything I had set up for this disappeared. So you can drag and drop an image there, or you can just edit the card. And so I'm going to edit this card, and I actually want to title this one, and I'm going to call this Prayer Request. And we'll center the text if I want to do that. And you have all these options to do this. Okay, so Prayer Request, close. So now I've got a prayer request card. And again, I highly recommend images, but in this situation, I just didn't have time to keep throwing all my images together. So now, I have added all my cards, Matt.
Yes.
It's done. Like
done.
Now, obviously, churches are going to have a lot more cards, but in just a few minutes, I've really shown how quickly you can add these cards, build out your website. And so now, whenever I go to my Church Connect here, I've got all these cards that I started creating. Now, the other thing is I can start moving around. I can start changing other stuff. So here's, how much time do I have left?
You got like a couple minutes.
Oh man, I got plenty of time for this. All right, so now let's talk about getting more into the deep of customization and stuff.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yes, so here's some things I want to do. First, go to your Connect menu, and then we have your Connect settings. And this is where you can kind of start getting into customization and stuff.
Yeah.
So I want my logo for my church to be on my Church Connect. And so what you need to do, if you haven't done this already, on ChurchTrac, if you go to your settings in ChurchTrac, I know we're away from Church Connect, but go to settings and then go to your admin settings. And then down here, we have got an area where you can actually drag and drop your logo. And so that way you can put your logo in here. And so I've actually got, let me pull my logo for my church. There we go. So my logo, we recommend a PNG file just because when they're transparent and everything, they look so much better. But it really is just up to you of how you want to do things. And so I have got my logo put in here. So that particular logo I've got in here, ready to rock. So now let's go back to Church Connect. And then if I go and view my Church Connect page now, I'll just refresh it real fast.
Sometimes it takes a little while for that to process, I've noticed, at least in the past.
Oh yeah, it may take it a minute. So, but I do have that logo added, and just to double check, I can go to my settings and see that I have got it checked for show your logo, show your church address.
Now scroll down though. This is something that I want
Yes.
the app icon. So that's how I showed you on the home screen of that phone that the church had added their logo to the app icon. You can do that here. So Wes, do you have an image for that?
I actually did. I created an app icon, so I can drag and drop that in there. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm so used to using a mouse, and I think what happened is I
accidentally clicked something
and
and deleted it. Oh,
yeah,
no.
that's exactly what it is. So now I just dragged and dropped my icon that I created for this. So now I've got a customized icon for my church app. What are we at in time now?
40 seconds.
Oh my goodness. All right. Now another thing too, like I can, you know what? I want the border radius to be really curved. Just because I like the look of that.
Cool.
I can change my background color. Again, I highly recommend going with your hex codes that you have already for your church's branding if you've done that. And there you go. So I basically pretty much built out my Church Connect with
20 seconds left.
Yeah, 20 seconds left. That's pretty awesome that you can build a church website from start to kind of almost finish in less than 15 minutes.
Well, and I mean, you can also break this up. Like you can do this in 15-minute chunks and say, hey, I'm gonna add these 3 cards, customize this other feature. Oh, time's up. Aha! Okay, cool. It did a little alarm. I was wondering, what does that sound?
Someone's calling me. So it's kind of wild to think. I mean, so we built this from start to finish, doing all the things. Now, obviously, I already had some things set up ahead of time to be able to make that happen. Between the images and plus, like I've been using ChurchTrac a while, so I knew exactly where to go. So obviously, if you're using this for the first time, it may take a little bit just to navigate and get used to it. But as you get used to it, as you get used to the mechanics of adding your cards into Church Connect, which is what makes up Church Connect, you're going to find it's really easy. And there's so many other things I want to say, but I think we should just dive into some tips that are really, I think, going to help church leaders get the most out of this.
Absolutely. So tip number 1 is use pictures for your cards. In some situations, it makes sense to not and make it a button, kind of like Wes did with the giving option. But we recommend using an image for every single card, or at least most of your cards, just because you can add text to those images like Wes did with the Connect With church name. We'd love to connect with you. The only thing you have to be aware of is make sure all of your text is large enough to read no matter the screen size. I made that mistake once when I made my church's Connect page. It looked great in Canva, but then I translating that to Church Connect, it was like too small. Some of the fonts were too small to read. But yes, use pictures for your cards, and we recommend using Canva. That's the program that we use. I've used it extensively. I love Canva. The best part about Canva is they have like a free version and a paid version, and the paid version obviously gives you access to like everything. And they give their paid subscription to nonprofits for free.
Yes, they do. And that is such a great resource for church leaders, especially for a lot of us that are in ministry. We're not graphic designers by trade.
No.
And we want to make things that look good. And we've actually done a lot of legwork for all of you who are wanting to make your church website really pop and make your Church Connect look great. So on our user guide, when you're on the Church Connect section, we actually have this entire section we've dedicated. Let me pull it up here on the big screen. So Canva Connect templates. We have already created templates for the images that you can use in your Church Connect. And so you can just click those links and it takes you right to those templates in which you can start designing right now. And you can customize these templates to be with your church's branding and images you want to use, the fonts you want to use, the text you want to use, all those things.
So Karen, you asked, what is Canva? It's an image editing platform or program. It's like Photoshop. I call it Photoshop for dummies.
I think it's
and
the
that's
best.
not an insult. I'm one of those dummies. I can't use Photoshop, but I made all of those templates using Canva. It's a great program for people that want to make really great visual media, but don't like have the skill or even the budget for more expensive, more powerful programs. But what Canva can produce is incredible.
Well, and it really comes down to, like, yes, it is Photoshop for dummies in a way, kind of jokingly, but I've worked with a lot of churches that, have people who are fully capable to design things in Photoshop and stuff. It's just a different type of tool. It's a tool that is designed for when you don't need like some crazy high level of graphic design. You need something that's more basic just to get a message out, and you want to do it quickly. It's such a great tool for that. And I wish we made money on it, because that would be kind of, but we don't. It's just
we ought to.
Yeah, it's a company that we just have said, hey, this is a great thing, and then there's a lot of churches that use it, so it's kind of a win-win. But yeah, that's a great resource. Another tip, we've got so many tips, but I only have so much time for a few of these here. Let me pull it up. So the next
mobile
one
first mindset.
is mobile first. And what we mean by that, so mobile first mindset, the next tip. Most people, when they're going on a church website, are doing it from
a smartphone.
This thing right here. Yes.
Over half of all web traffic is through a mobile device. Back in 2017 is when that shift happened. A little over 50% of all web traffic was mobile.
Yeah.
Now, worldwide, it's like 60%.
And it's going up every year.
It just ticks up a little more every year. More and more and more and more people are accessing websites through their smartphone.
Yes.
And that counts for churches. In fact, I have found churches and started attending because I just quickly pulled up like Google Maps, searched churches near me, and then just started searching through all the churches that were within whatever driving distance I was willing to go. So making your church website an app, well, obviously it's an app. An app is for a mobile phone, but making your church website geared towards a mobile experience is crucial for the future of using your website to reach new people.
Yeah, and it's when it comes to like designing your Church Connect. So back to Church Connect. There's a couple options you have, so you can actually order your cards in Church Connect. Now on a desktop device, you don't see it as much because it's just pulling them 3 columns wide. But on a mobile device, you're only seeing 1 card at a time.
Right.
And so we always recommend putting the most important cards first.
Yes.
And typically that is like a connection card. Typically that's like online giving. Think about the things your people want to do with your website. And usually it's getting connected, giving online, signing up for an event, things of that nature.
Right.
And so those are typically the most important. Put those in the top, and you can do that by simply just on your Connect menu. From here, you can sort cards, and then you can move these cards around and change the order as you'd like. So that's definitely something. Highly recommend doing that, just because we're mobile first these days, and we need to have our website kind of correctly apply for that. And then another thing, you always say like limiting your cards around 15, give or take.
Yeah, just because you want people to know like what you need to like let your people know exactly what you want them to do when they go to your website or your app. Giving them 20, 30, 40, 50 cards to scroll through, especially if it's a common card that you want people to access, you don't want to put it at the very bottom.
Yeah.
So we recommend keeping the number of cards you create and add to Church Connect around 15, or you limit it to 15.
I always say you don't want your people feeling like they're on Instagram.
Just the infinite
because
scroll.
Instagram, you can get deep in one of those days where you're just like, oh, it's been 30 minutes and I've been scrolling. You don't want your people feeling like they're scrolling Instagram when they're using your Church Connect. You want them to be able to do what it is they're trying to accomplish, whether it's submit a prayer request, give online, all that, really fast.
Yes. Tip number 3 is keep it updated. Now, there's not a one-size-fits-all approach to that. You may be updating yours weekly, like removing a card and adding a new card, or monthly or something like that. Whatever works for you. But the principle is just don't set it and forget it.
Yeah.
If your Church Connect app is created and it's great, but then you never touch it again, your members won't either. So you got to add fresh content to incentivize people going to the app more and more.
And one thing I do want to point out, there's so many little nuances on Church Connect we just don't have time to cover because it was more so just getting you started. But when you're going and editing your cards, so for example, I'm just going to pick a random card, not that it really matters, but this About Us card, so I'm going to select that. So you have the option on the card status. This is really cool because card status does a couple things. One, it enables you to have a card displayed till a certain date below, and then you can put in that date.
Yeah, so then it automatically removes that card after that date.
So this makes it to where you aren't going to be stuck with a spaghetti dinner that happened 3 years ago that I have seen on a church website.
Websites, yes.
And so you can have these cards go poof, they're gone after a certain date. But the other thing too that I really appreciate about this is this takes takes your Church Connect and gives you the ability to have a card only displayed when a member is logged in or when a member is not logged in, which in essence gives you two completely different website church app experiences depending on whether the person is a member of your church that has logged in or if it's someone who is just looking at your church for the first time. So great. This is something that your typical conventional website cannot do.
Yeah, and that's really cool to point out, because even though we're saying limit it to 15 cards, you could have 30 cards.
Yeah.
You could have 15 cards that only display when a member is logged in, and it's relevant just for your members, and then another 15 that only display when someone's not logged in, so make it something for the public.
Yeah. Now, I have another tip that I didn't list in our outline, Matt, but I want to talk about it because as you all know, we have to tell church people over and over again, multiple ways, multiple times, to get them to do anything.
Yes.
It's just the nature of us as human beings. Sometimes people just need reminded a lot. And one of the challenges with getting people to do anything new, especially when you're switching to like a new platform for online giving, or you're getting them switched to, hey, we have a new app now that we just created and we want you to use it. How do you get people to really get on board with that super fast?
Yes.
The easiest way is to text them. And that's either sending a text, just with your phone. You can text the link to your Church Connect page, or if you're using our text messaging built into ChurchTrac, you can actually go to your people screen. I love this. I can go to my people screen, and I can go to messaging, and I can go to send a text message. And I can go ahead and this account, I don't have it set up. I'm usually in my other account. But then I could go and send a text message to my entire church and have that message, hey, this is our new church app. Click here to download our new church app.
Yes.
And your people will really, really, really quickly sign up for that church app.
Yeah, because it's just a tap, and then it takes them straight there. They can then sign up or download it onto their phone at least and have everything ready to go.
Yeah.
Another thing that I've done, at least that I experienced, that I did at my church that helped out a lot, is as we were doing the communicating and telling them, over and over again about the app, I would also tell everybody, hey, don't worry if you need help.
Yep.
I'll be in the welcome area out front. Just bring your phone to me. I'll download the app on your phone. I'll get you signed up with an account. I'll set up online giving. Whatever you need, just bring your phone to me. I'll help you out. And we got a lot more people to actually do it that way.
And the texting, just to reiterate, I've worked with so many church leaders that have incorporated the texting in their communication.
Yeah.
And by texting their church, they were able to get like half of their church to download their app within 2 days.
Yeah,
it's
perfect.
Wild. All right, so we've done a lot of showing and telling and all the pro tips.
Yes.
I want to answer questions, man. Let's go through here. That's the beauty of these live things. Now, if you're watching this in the future, you can't ask us questions in real time like we're doing now, but you can always just reach out to our support team, create a support ticket. But we're going to move to a time of just answering questions. So here's what I want you all to do. Go ahead, ask your question in the chat, and then we're going to start going through this chat and trying to pull out all these questions and see how many we can answer here. We don't have like a specific amount of time to where we got to say, hey, we're going, but we're going to try to get to as many as we can.
Okay. So go ahead and leave your questions. There's a few questions that I didn't address in the chat as we were doing this, so I'll just work my way through some of those questions that we didn't get to. First of all, Karen, you asked, if we use a service, can we do a domain redirect so we don't lose our longtime website name? The answer is yes. Domain forwarding does work with ChurchTrac, with Church Connect. However, that's set up through the domain host. So like the original host of that domain, you reach out to them or set that up on their site, and it'll forward everybody to your new Church Connect address.
Yep.
Michael, what is a good app to live stream the church service? You can add videos directly from YouTube and Vimeo Live. So if you're live streaming on either of those platforms, you can add that directly to your Church Connect app.
And another thing too, you can use really any live stream service with Church Connect by using a link card. Because
that was Michael's next question.
Yes.
You can direct people to your live stream if you're using a different platform with a link card, absolutely.
Yeah, the link card is probably the most versatile card because it enables you to link to almost anything, especially like if you're using another online giving provider, though I would strongly recommend taking a look at ours because we actually don't make money on online giving. It's an integration we offer, and we have the most competitive rates out there. But you can link to things like Givelify, Subsplash, just PayPal. Yeah, PayPal. We were just talking about that yesterday. So yeah.
So George, you asked if I have already added a member or visitor, when they create an account in Church Connect, does that take them to that existing account? Yes. It's all tied together by the email address. As long as you have an email address on file for that person in the people screen. Whenever you create an account in Church Connect, we didn't really talk about this, I kind of breezed through it when I was signing in. But the username and password for that member, they can only use their email address as their username. So that links them together to their profile in the people screen in ChurchTrac. So yes, it's all connected. Let's see, Joe. Instead of Canva, can we use MS Designer? Yes.
Yeah.
We just recommend Canva, not because it's like more compatible with Church Connect, just because it is easy.
Yeah.
And churches can get it for free. Any other platform that creates images, you can use it. The only thing you have to keep in mind is that all images in Church Connect have to be 1,200 pixels wide.
Yes.
You can make them as tall as you want, but they have to be 1,200 pixels wide, not 1,201 or 1,199. 1,200 pixels wide. That's the only thing.
And if it's not 1,200 pixels wide, you're not going to break anything. It causes the image to kind of look strange in some cases. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we always recommend putting the image in that specific file width-wise, because it'll look great. It'll look just like you made it. So.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. So how do you sign up for the paid subscription to Canva as a nonprofit? I actually shared a link earlier. I'll share it again. That's what I just dropped into the chat. That's the link for Canva for nonprofits. So all the instructions and information is there. Let's see. Liz, how would I be able to create a QR code made for separate volunteer signups? Or do I create them through form cards? If you want to use Church Connect to like get people, like recruit people, yeah, you would just use a form card. You don't need a separate QR code just for that.
Yeah, and one thing you can do, this is like kind of moving into a more advanced realm of things, but like pulling up my Church Connect here. So whenever I select like any form card, so I'll just do our first one here I've got. So that form card actually has the unique URL of /card/4. And so all these different form cards have their own unique URL. If you really want to, you can have your people go straight to a form card by providing that URL, or you can even use some sort of free program online that enables you to create QR codes that point to a specific URL.
You can do that with Canva.
I see Canva does that now?
Yeah, you can make your own QR code.
Yet another reason.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. But yeah, and I see a lot of churches do that, Matt, just because even though it's really easy to navigate on Church Connect and everything, sometimes they have a lot of different forms they utilize for their ministry. And so what they'll do is they'll go to it, like, so I'll show you an example. So like, let's say I have this prayer request form. Let's say it was any sort of other form card that's not used that often. If you can actually hide the card. And so I can say hide this card and then just pick, yesterday. So now it's hidden. It's not going to be visible anywhere on our Church Connect, but it's still there, and the actual URL is still there. And so I have a lot of churches I've seen that point to URLs of different form cards, even though the card is hidden. And so that way they can have all these different forms still in Church Connect, but not have their Church Connect just cluttered with tons of forms.
Yes. Yeah. Helps.
So that's another level there, but good stuff.
All right, let's see, Matt, is it possible to change the address page once it's created? Yes, though not through your account. Reach out to the support team in a ticket. That's the way to do that.
Yeah. We see that happen from time to time, just because the church leader will create their URL, but then they sit on it for a while and think, man, I wish I would have done this one because this one's easier to remember. Yeah, support team.
George, you also asked what payment gateways is Church Connect compatible with? We integrate with Stripe. That's the only merchant processor that ChurchTrac integrates with. But you can link, I think Wes, you even mentioned this, you can link to any other platform. Just create a link card that directs them to that portal, that donation portal. And
just to show like in real time, because I know many of you in here may be using a different online giving provider and haven't yet switched to ChurchTrac. But what you do is you go to create your card, so I'll add a card on Church Connect. And the card that I'm going to create in this particular situation, it's not the giving card, but it's actually going to be a link card. And so then I would add that card. And then what I would do is that URL, so whether it's PayPal or Tithely or whatever the platform it is you're using, they provide you a link that you can put that link in there. So that way people click that card, it goes straight to that. But again, just to throw that in the chat, because some of you are like, well, what are the rates for ChurchTrac online giving? So as a nonprofit, we have credit card rates of 2.2% plus 30 cents. And I know this is Church Connect, but Church Connect and online giving are kind of like the same. They're part of the same thing. So that is for credit card, and then we also have ACH, and that's just a flat rate of 25 cents. So on average, we see churches save a little over $500 a year by switching to us for online giving from another provider.
Now, Dale, you asked about how to resend or forward a prayer request text from a member to the prayer group in ChurchTrac from the phone. Reach out to the support team in a ticket for that. It's simple, but just reach out to them. It's more than what we could cover just in a video like this. Loretta, I'm having trouble putting a video on a card. And then you mentioned asking about using a link card for that. They're in ChurchTrac. Wes, since you're already in the Church Connect page, go ahead and click the Connect menu and then add a card.
Okay.
So Loretta, if you scroll down to the very bottom, that second to last option, video card, that's how you would add a video directly to the Church Connect page.
Yeah.
If you are using a link card, that just directs people out of Church Connect to wherever that video is hosted, like YouTube or wherever else.
Yeah.
That's an option. You absolutely can do that. But if you're wanting people to watch the video right from within the app, you would add it through a video card.
Yeah. And I lean towards, I know this is kind of more my preference, but I lean towards anytime I'm linking a video, I use a link card instead of embedding it directly in Church Connect. Just because a lot of times people, they want to see the full screen video on their phone. And so sometimes it's just best to do that.
That's understandable. Is there an easy way to send a voice message without logging into ChurchTrac like one? Okay, yeah, that's a question for the support team. Michelle. We would like to cancel our current website hosted by Wix and only use Church Connect. Is Church Connect searchable or easy to find on Google?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Since you are asking this question, I'm assuming you know a little bit about SEO, search engine optimization. You can take everything that you have on your Wix site that you've made searchable on Google and just copy and paste that over into your Church Connect cards. So it can pull it up and make it easier to find in a Google search. That's it. It doesn't really take a lot. And so it is something that is fully functional and can be used in a search or found in a search on Google.
And one of the things I really appreciate, so this is the Church Connect I had made previous to today, so that, and you can recognize a couple of those cards there, but having that address and everything, you can actually enable that to have your address at the bottom of the page if you want to do that. I just didn't do that for this demo here. And that really helps your SEO tremendously. And I see a lot of churches, whenever they make that transition of going from whatever web platform they were, like Wix or Squarespace, and going to Church Connect, in just a few days, that website for Church Connect, it is #1 on Google search when people are searching your specific website, especially when you link your website to Google Maps and other Google products like that. It's pretty quick.
Okay. Let's see. Google creates QR codes on links. I didn't know that. Olivia, Google creates QR codes on links. That's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Learned something new today. I learned two new things.
I know. All right, Loretta, when I use the YouTube video address on the link card, the YouTube address is not recognized. Why? Well, if you can't just use like the, so if you use the entire YouTube video as a link, it should direct them to the YouTube video itself.
Check out our user guide, because YouTube gives you a few different types of shareable links, and you need to use the right one. And our user guide's got the right links and shows a screenshot how to get that and everything.
All right, William Roberts, do you have information or video on Twilio on how to send SMS text message? Yes, go to our YouTube channel. David will put a little lower third up for our YouTube channel now. Go to our YouTube channel. I'll share a link again to that channel. That we have videos on virtually everything about your ChurchTrac account, some how-to and some guides for how to use those features or set things up, including setting up and using Twilio. So that's all there. And we also have our user guide that has even more than what our...
for setting up Twilio, our user guide definitely has everything step by step, showing you both how to set it up in Twilio for that third-party integration, as well as ChurchTrac, and how to do everything from your, the SID and the token and all that. Makes me think I'm in an arcade when I start thinking about tokens, but yeah.
So Michael Shannon, you said for messaging, email is free, SMS text is not, correct? Yes. Email is totally free. It's texting that has a charge, but there's a couple different ways you can do texting in ChurchTrac. Read our user guide or watch our videos on that where we explain in more detail, or reach out to the support team.
Yeah.
All right, so far we've reached the end of all of the questions. So if you have any more questions, definitely speak now or forever hold your peace. Now's your chance.
Well, I mean, I would say that, but our support team is here, and
true.
We'll answer your ticket in like 30 minutes.
This isn't the last helicopter out of Vietnam. Like,
yeah, we've got a really fast team, and I can't like encourage you enough to like definitely reach out to our support team. We have a real team of human beings here that are church leaders just like yourself that are actively using Church Connect and basically everything in ChurchTrac here. And so anytime you need help with all that, our support team is here to help you out.
Always. We are always here.
You know, Matt, we could dive deep into some other pro tips if people wanted us to. I mean, it's really now is your time. We've kind of hit this point where we've covered all the material. I think we've answered the core of the questions. So if like, nope. Now we have more questions. As soon as I say that, there's people that have the questions, which is what we're here for. So let's answer them.
Tanya, can we have a link for archive live services? Like, are you talking about other live videos like this one? That's all on our YouTube channel. All of our live streams that we've done.
I think, no, Tanya's asking about, or Tanya, I'm sorry, a link. So you're wanting to link to like all of your previous live streams content that your church has done. So Page Card is what I'm going to recommend for you there, because then you can put all those links in there.
Yes.
To be able to have that.
Yes.
I've actually seen some churches utilize the gallery card as well for attaching like sermon notes and stuff.
Oh, nice.
So there's a few different ways, but yeah, the Page Card is probably going to be your best bet for that, Tanya.
Okay. Let's see. Roy H. Is there another method of organizing the cards besides drag and drop? I mean, the other option is to create the cards in the order that you want them to be displayed. There's not really another way to rearrange them other than the drag and drop option through that sort cards in the Connect menu.
Yeah.
That's the way to change how they're arranged. And again, they're arranged in a single file column on an app and in 3 columns on a desktop, or 2 if you're on a tablet. That's how responsive Church Connect is.
It just comes down to what device you're viewing it on.
And so it's different. Like, it's actually interesting how our developers made this work. On a desktop, the order of cards it's in 3 columns, but they go from left to right. So like your top 3 cards are along the very top. And then, in an app, they're just the first 3 cards you scroll by.
Yeah.
So it is a slightly different arrangement based on the screen that you're looking at. But the only way to change how they're arranged is by going to Connect menu and then clicking the Sort Cards option in that drop-down menu and then just dragging and dropping them around. That's the way to move them.
Oh, and fun fact, you can actually view your Church Connect, what it will look like.
Oh, yeah.
I have to zoom out a little bit on my screen, but you can actually see what it'll look like responsively right here in the moment if you want to see that, which is really nice.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, so there's a few different options we give you. Now, a little pro tip here. Because a lot of times when we're adding cards, these cards can be like cards we want to kind of get front and center. Yeah. And so when you add a card, I can go ahead and select whatever card it is, and then at the bottom here, add a new card at the bottom, or add a new card at the top.
Yeah.
And so this is really good. Now, here's why. I'm going to show this. So let's say you've got a potluck coming up. So the registration card, this is a good example. I've already got a potluck event that I had created, Matt. And so I've got the registration card. I want to pull it up so I can give people the ability to register. And then I'll add a new card at the top.
At the top.
And so add this card. Now I can go ahead and select the event. So see how every card, they all act kind of the same, but they all have different options depending on what card you use.
Yeah.
So for this one, it's not a link card where I drag and drop a link. I select the event. And so then I can put in here like trunk or treat, whatever it may be. And now people can go ahead and register for that particular event that we have going on. So there we go. Yeah. Or I can move it around, whatever I want to do. Any other pro tips that you want to share, Matt? The things that you've found that are pretty cool?
No, what I shared earlier, and I kind of threw it in as just a brief aside, it's something that I get asked a lot. I chat with churches one-on-one. If you're using ChurchTrac and you sign up and have an account, you can set up a Zoom call with me just to chat one-on-one. And like the one question I get asked is, how do you get people to download the app? Mm-hmm. And like a lot of churches they have older members of the church, and so those people are typically a little more hesitant to jump into like the technological realm and utilize those tools. Like I shared earlier, the one thing that I did at my church that got the ball rolling on more people downloading the app, even more so than texting, was just offering myself up in service and say, hey, look, whenever I would go down and stand at the podium, my pastor created like a big slide and with information about the app and the QR code so people could just do it right there from the seat. But I said, look, if you need help, just meet me out front. I will take care of everything. And that made a huge difference.
Yes.
That made a huge difference in getting more people to download it and use the app.
Yeah, and especially if you have like a welcome center at your church and just training your people that are manning that welcome center that, hey, we are going to be helping people, getting them onto our new church app, and your job is to help them do that. I've seen a lot of churches even do this with online giving, where they'll encourage their people, hey, we've switched to a new online giving provider, and if you need any help with that, just reach out to someone there at the Welcome Center, and they will walk you through it. They'll even help you set it up. They obviously won't look at your credit card info, but they'll help you set it up. So it just comes back to sometimes nothing beats that real face-to-face, talking to someone, real-life communication.
Now, Roy asked a question that's another really great tip. Editing page cards using HTML.
Yeah.
The editor view. Wes, since you're already here, go ahead and click on a page card or create one, either one.
All right, I can pull up...
do the come worship, the time and location, because that's where we add... Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I would want to show. So whenever you're using a page card, you can edit the page content and add the text and the images and stuff like that. But you can also, if you know a little bit about HTML coding...
Enough to be dangerous.
Enough to be dangerous. You can take things to another level and do like what I showed you with that map. You can embed stuff. So click on that little, I don't know what to call that little symbol for the code view. The little...
Like
greater
brackets
than
or something?
Brackets.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not a coder, so maybe there's actually a term for that. But just click on that and it opens up the code, like the actual HTML code in the background. And this is where you can drop like an iframe and edit or embed things like a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Because like even YouTube will give you the embed code for that video.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of churches utilize this not only for embedding like a link to Google Maps, but churches embedding their YouTube video. I've seen churches embed what's it called? Like if you have a special podcast player for the podcasting platform you use.
Yeah, Spotify gives you the embed code.
Yes, so like Spotify, stuff like that, and you can put that in here. Obviously, I highly recommend you know a little bit about HTML, or you just know what I do. You know how to Google. Yeah. And so I just Google things and figure out, oh, well, I want to put this in here, and and it showed me, and then I just copy and paste the code and do that. So.
Yes. Another thing I like to point out to churches is on that main dashboard, the Connect Users tab.
Oh, yes.
So as your members download the app and create an account, at the very top, there's that tab for your Connect users. This lists all of the people who have created an account. You can see when they last logged in. You can reset their password. You can also delete them as a user if they like move out or move away to another town. Control what access they have to the online directory if you've activated the directory in Church Connect.
Yeah.
So a lot of functionality here and a lot of usefulness, especially for people that frequently forget their password.
Yes.
You can help them out.
Yeah, resetting the password. That gives you the ability, because a lot of times you'll get those people that they're so afraid to click things and stuff, and so sometimes it's, hey, I'm going to send you a password reset. And, form response is another one we didn't even mention, but as people start filling out your forms, all those form responses go here, and you can even have them in different reports and generate those. So lots going on there. There's no way to cover it all in just a short amount of time. That's why we have all these other videos that you can check out our online user guide, where we walk through everything in Church Connect, all the nuanced features, all the little extra tidbits that really will enable you to just be able to communicate with your people in such a great way with this tool, which we're so glad to see. This tool has grown so much over the years, and we've just been adding so much neat functionality. And a big reason for that is because we get really great input from you all.
Yep.
So as you utilize this tool, we really encourage feedback. We're always adding updates to ChurchTrac, making things better because we make it for you. We want to help equip you to build the body of Christ with these great tools. And so anytime you have great feedback to help us make these tools better, we are all ears. So.
Well, that's everything. We've covered everything that we can think of, especially as far as tips go.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, again, just reach out to the support team. Definitely join our Facebook group. That's another great place to ask questions. Whether it be, I mean, if you need inspiration for how to make your Church Connect page look great, just jump into that Facebook group and ask people to like share their Church Connect page. That's like the one thing that people love doing in the
we need to,
Facebook page.
we need to do another Church Connect show and tell.
Yeah,
we did
not?
one of those like a year ago. We may need to bring that back where we actually show off some churches that created their Connect and go through them and kind of say, hey, we like this. Hey, you should do this to make it better. So that'll be something we can do. Matt, so we'll answer Matt's question real quick. So how can we show an automated verse the day on Church Connect? So verse of the day. So you could, in that situation, you're probably not going to be able to have an automated verse that's just going to automatically show up, but you can have like a link card. So when people click to it, it takes you to that, or it could be embedded in a page card. So that way you could call that card like verse of the day, people click and it takes to that. So those are a couple ways you can do that.
And also, last time, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be posting this video on our YouTube channel within a few days. So subscribe there to stay up to date on everything else we do. We've also done a couple of live streams on Canva. We don't do live streams just on like features of ChurchTrac. We definitely cover a lot of material, a lot of tools and resources that would help you. Those two Canva webinars were some of my favorites.
Yes.
So if you're like wanting to get started with with Canva, we have a Canva for churches, and then also if you want to learn more about all the templates and how to use them and what's so great about them, we have a Canva templates for churches. So go watch those videos, subscribe to that YouTube channel, and enjoy everything we put out.
All right. Well, you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.